The Plank, presented by Jeep, continues right now on ABC Action News Now.
I'm Derek Olsen, I'm a Bucs fan. What are you?
All right, folks. Well, welcome back here to The Plank, presented by Jeep, and we're going to have a special guest coming up here at 7:30. Derek Fournier from WhatTheBuck.net. And as you can see, he's got a big family, or a lot of fans.
Yeah, one of the best Buccaneer fans you'll have and you'll see over at Ray J during the tailgate. And there he is right here. He'll be joining us just in a little bit.
Where's your beer, Derek?
Derek has a fan-based show. You might have heard it. We've been plugging it here online, WhatTheBuck.net. And so he has a great following, and he is the voice of pretty much the Buccaneer Nation, the Buccaneer fans. So we're going to be hearing from Derek on what the Bucs fans right now are saying. We also want to hear from you guys. Call in. We want to hear your take, your concerns, what you think about the Bucs. If you want to talk about last week's horrible game against the Saints, well, not so horrible, but horrible ending, rather. And then, of course, the Ravens game coming up here. You have the number here flashing on the bottom of your screen, 813-367-0171. And we'll also be taking your tweets using the hashtag #ThePlank. So there's other contact info, too. If you want to Skype in, you can go do so. But we want to hear from you guys. This is a show based for you, the fans. And, of course, Derek will be joining us here in just about 11 minutes. Given his fan perspective and what he's been hearing from fans on his website, WhatTheBuck.net.
Right, and we're waiting a call here from Aaron Wilson, who is with the Baltimore Sun. Of course, he is the beat reporter from the Baltimore Ravens, to get a perspective of what's going on up there. And Aaron has been covering the team, I believe, for about 7-8 years now, and he's got a pretty good perspective. And maybe some of you that lived up in Brooksville might remember Aaron Wilson. He worked for the Hernando Today back about 8 years ago, so he's well in tune
to the Buccaneers.
Well in tune to the Bucs, well in tune to the area, and I know he was looking forward to getting on our program this evening. But Baltimore, this is another AFC team. This is they did beat Pittsburgh and they beat them on the road, but they're going to have to play much better.
Much better, and you look at like what the Ravens bring that maybe the Saints couldn't bring. First off, the Ravens' defense, I would think it gets a little overshadowed because of the changes that they've made of the last few years with Ray Lewis being gone and things like that. It's still one of the better defenses in the NFL, only allowing 16 points a game compared to the Bucs with almost 32 points a game, the second worst in the NFL to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And, of course, the Ravens have one of the ninth best run-stopping defenses in the league, and you mix that, TK, with a problem with the running game right now, something's got to give. Hopefully the Bucs can do that at home, which they have not played very well at Ray J. You know, we've heard all week a little bit, if you've been tuning in to us on ABC Action News at 6 and 11, of the Buccaneers talking about the home field advantage issue at Ray J, how it's almost been a non-existent factor. They haven't won there yet this year. I believe they're 9-17 since the start of the 2011 season, which is inexcusable because when you're trying to defend your home turf, that gives you a home field advantage. That has not been the case. You mix that plus with the problems on the running game, doesn't bode well for the Buccaneers, but anything can happen, and hopefully the changes that they've made this week from the Saints game will show that coming up here.
Yeah, and certainly the Buccaneers do not want to start with an 0-3 record at home.
No.
I mean, they have got to substantiate something here at Ray J, and hopefully it comes against Baltimore, which they play some decent football. They've had an off week here, but playing, but I think they're going to be a tougher opponent than perhaps Pittsburgh was. I think they're going to be a tougher opponent, more physical than New Orleans was. But they are at home, and so the Buccaneers really do need to take advantage of their home field here in this game coming up on Sunday.
And it's interesting. A lot of people may not realize this, but this is going to be like a homecoming of sorts for a former Buccaneer who's now at the Ravens. Center Jeremy Zutaw. Remember, he played with the Bucs, and not so much now.
One of 50 Rutgers guys we had on the football team last year.
All thanks to Greg Schiano. But
right.
And he's been injured the last few weeks, battling an injury with his ankle. Looking at the injury report coming out this afternoon, he is at limited participation. Still not sure if Jeremy Zutaw, the center for the Ravens, will play. If I had my guess, I don't think he plays just because on a Thursday, if you're limited and you have your ankle issue and you're a center, depending on how severe that is, the chances are you may not play. I don't know if they take that risk. Of course, we'll have a final injury report coming up tomorrow. But that'll be an interesting storyline going into this one as well. And you mentioned Joe Flacco, TK. A lot of people have criticized him over the last few years, ever since winning the Super Bowl, that this team has not been able to kind of get back to their Super Bowl form. But you also look at the weapon that he picked up this year in Steve Smith, and we know him fairly well from always burning the Buccaneers in the past.
Well, that's one of the things that scares. I look all the way down the roster and I say, okay, not bad, and then there's that guy that has killed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, game after game when he was with Carolina, and he at least 100 yards, a couple of touchdowns. He's cost him a couple of victories down the road. I just think that he's going to be geeked up for this game because he always plays well.
And look at this, too. And when we talk with Aaron Wilson here in just a little bit, I want to hear what they have to think of going against the Buccaneers' depleted secondary, if Jonathan Banks plays or not. And, of course, Altron Werner suffered a few bad games coming up here lately, too. So that'll be interesting. Well,
I think we have Aaron Wilson on the line right now from the Baltimore Sun, the Ravens beat writer. Aaron, we appreciate you joining us here on the Plank. Thanks for calling.
Thanks for having me.
Let's get into this. What is the demeanor of Baltimore coming into this game? What are they saying?
They're stinging a little bit from this loss to the Colts. That was a disappointing road loss, and they made a lot of mistakes. And then when you look at Tampa Bay, they feel like Tampa Bay is much better than their record shows. They have a lot of respect for Mike Glennon and Vincent Jackson, Bobby Laney, and also linebacker Levante David is a special player, obviously. And yeah, they think it's a tough game.
Well, I tell you, I think we're having a little difficulty trying to understand you, Aaron. We're going to try and rehook up with you here, so hang on tight. Christy will be giving you a call here back, and we'll try to reestablish it so that we can understand what you're saying, because I know you got some great insight over there from Baltimore.
Yeah, it could be that the solar winds, as they say.
Well, atmospheric interference, of which I've had that many times in my life.
Right.
But, going into this game, once again, I said, Buccaneers are only 3-point underdogs to Baltimore.
Which is kind of surprising a little bit.
Well, Flacco can put up some numbers. They can't score like New Orleans can. But the fact is I'm going to see whether or not Glennon can do what I think he can do against this football team. I'm going to give you all a little hint because I do have TK's picks coming up.
Uh-oh, here we go.
You are all going to be falling on the floor when you hear this one.
Oh, I cannot wait. Now, it seems like, just from, I don't want to give it away too much, but it seems like you're coming around a little bit on Mike Glennon, just a bit.
Well, I wanted to see it again. I wanted to see consistency. You want to see consistency out of everybody. I did see it out of him. I thought that what happened in that first quarter was unbelievable because this guy hit Safarian Jenkins on a 28-yard reception that should have been a first down, drops the football. Vincent Jackson had a couple of catches right there that easily were moving the sticks, dropped the football.
Yeah.
You can't have that, and you can't do that on the road in a place like the Superdome. So, and I think Aaron Wilson, who we have back on the line right now, Aaron, you saw, we were talking about Mike Glennon. I heard you talking about Mike Glennon. What were the Ravens saying about Glennon?
They think he's a very good young quarterback. They think that he's composed, strong-armed, and obviously he's not the most nimble guy out of the pocket, but he's a strong pocket passer and just a good young quarterback.
Again, Aaron, I think, I don't know if it's atmospheric interference. You got an echo going, don't you? Are you calling from a landline or your cell phone?
It's on my cell phone, actually. I'm driving home.
Okay, do you have you're driving home? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to have to do because we just can't, we can't understand what you're saying, and I really hate that. We could try to see if we can't fix that up here during the interim of the show, and we may be able to catch you later in another segment. But right now, okay. But right now we'll let you go, and we do appreciate it because I really do want to get the inside of what he's got to say.
Yeah.
And what the situation is really with the Baltimore Colts. What is the injury report on them, by the way?
Well, right now they do have a fairly amount of guys on the injury list. I mentioned Jeremy Zutaw, limited participation. Darryl Smith, a linebacker, he's battling a knee injury, limited participation. And then you have Matt Elam, safety, battling a shoulder injury. He's limited. Now you have 5 guys that did not practice on Wednesday or on Thursday today. No one knows on Friday. You're looking at Marlon Brown, a backup wide receiver. He's dealing with a pelvis injury. Then you have defensive end Chris Canty, And then a couple other second and third string guys that may not necessarily household names, but they have some guys on the offensive defensive side, especially the offensive line there, with a couple linemen injured, which that could help the Buccaneers get, you mentioned the sacks with Gerald McCoy, which will be interesting to see as well, because Gerald McCoy with the hand injury, he's not 100%, hasn't been 100%. That cast is off. He's practiced all week with it off. So if he can get back to the way he was, and if you can take advantage of some of those linemen's injuries on the offensive side, you can rack up some of those sacks.
Yeah. So once again, folks, if you want to join us here on the lines, I know you're out there, and maybe you're afraid. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, we're
Don't be. You've got to have your opinions on what's going on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know you have your opinions on it. Are you satisfied with Glennon? Who are you not satisfied with? Who on this Buccaneer football team is bugging you, and who on this football team is making you smile? I mean, just little things like that. Just bring it to the forefront with us here at 813-367-0171. Now, coming up right after the break, we're going to have Derek Fortier with us from whatthebuck.net. And I'm going to find out really if that is all those kids that we saw in that.
that's a lot of kids.
That was a lot of kids.
That's a lot.
That's a big family. All right, the play continues right after this.